Excellencies, high authorities, colleagues from around the world, the planet is facing the greatest challenge in history in the form of climate crisis, the loss of biodiversity, desertification, and pollution as a result of a consumption model that has jeopardized the very survival of humanity and the planet. Science confirms that this decade is critical to limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. For this reason, Mexico recognizes the urgency of taking timely action to tackle the challenges and vulnerabilities caused by the effects of climate change, and also to create a new relationship with nature through a new economic model that is more human, more egalitarian, one that leaves no one behind nor out in the cold. The government of Mexico has come to this conference of the parties to endorse the commitments undertaken in the Paris Agreement and to ensure that in the implementation of that agreement, we pay due regard for the right to a clean, safe and secure environment. For Mexico, it is essential that all climate action include a human rights approach, one that's also based on gender equality, interculturality, and intergenerational equity, so that the voices and needs of peoples, First Peoples, and vulnerable groups are taken into account. Mexico recognizes that both adaptation and mitigation alike are essential elements to building resilient societies. But to achieve the ambitious climate objectives, it is fundamental that countries assume their historic responsibility and also scale up their ambition when it comes to implementation. Climate financing, therefore, must be just, transparent, equitable, accessible, and agile. Mexico views as a priority the need to recognize the economic and non-economic costs resulting from loss and damage caused by climate change, including degradation of natural resources, devastation of communities as a result of disasters, and the loss of production of goods and services, as well as deterioration of our biocultural heritage. Mexico joins developing countries who are demanding a sea change in the way we address the climate crisis and compensation for loss and damage of the most vulnerable based on the principle of climate justice, ensuring that those countries that have historically been the heaviest emitters of greenhouse gases are held accountable for these emissions. Mexico knows that the climate challenge deserves huge initiatives, and for this reason, our President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is determined to scaling up even more the unconditional target of deepening our reduction from 22 to 35%. This scaled up ambition, which will be presented by Mexico this week formally to the convention, includes an additional generation of 105 gigawatts of clean energy, which means doubling our production of this type of energy in Mexico, capturing 98% of methane gas emissions from our oil wells, and a 2 million hectare expansion of new natural protected areas through our Sembrando Vida program, a reforestation of 1.5 million hectares with more than 1.1 billion trees, construction of hydrogen plants, implementation of an ambitious strategy of energy efficiency. With respect to renewable energies, the President recently presented the development plan for the state of Sonora, through which we're seeking to develop a sustainable ecosystem for generating electrical energy through solar plants and promoting its lithium industry for the automotive sector. We also have a joint effort underway to increase our climate ambition, and through this we have promoted various initiatives. One of them is the strategy for a sustainable ocean economy, And we are also working with the University of California and come up with a working group between Mexico and the United States for electrification of our transport grid. And in line with our feminist foreign policy, we developed here at COP, we have a national gender and climate change plan in consonance with our leadership, and this will be adopted through the Lima Action Plan. Finally, Mexico has come to this conference of the parties with a renewed spirit of support for multilateralism, recognizing the gravity of the climate situation facing the world, and we call on all parties to work together in such a way that is commensurate with the challenges facing humanity and the planet. Thank you.